Very honored. I'm thrilled to be here today to file my candidacy for the 2nd Congressional District here in North Carolina. I'm lucky to be here with my mother, my family, and a lot of the incredible teachers who I've had over the years growing up here in North Carolina and Wake County schools. It is something that has frustrated me and I think so many people around this state and country when we look at the gridlock that's in Washington and the obstructionism and the inability to get anything done over the past several years. And that's why I've decided to run. I am encouraged by the number of people who I've met as I've gone around the district and gone around the state who really want to see something get done positively in this state and in this country, and who really believe that we don't really make decisions and we're not going to have success just based on one party or the other, that we all have to work together. And so that is the goal here in this campaign. That's the goal for this country, and that's what we're going to be running on, and I think that's what we'll be successful with. So thank you guys very much for coming out today. I think I've been told I'm taking questions now. Is that the case?
Well, can I ask your mother something?
Sure.
I mean, did you ever expect this, that he would run for Congress? I mean, did it ever come to your mind as he was growing up or even when he was in his 20s?
Well, every parent says their child's going to be president one day. But no, I used to tell him, use your voice. I don't think this was what I was thinking, but he's using his voice.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I was very politically active when I was in middle school and high school. When I was in 8th grade, I called Terry Sanford's office and asked him if I could come and interview him for a paper I had to write. I did, and he let me come over and interview him. Another interesting story, I also in 8th grade called David Price and asked him to come to my class and speak to my class during his campaign in '92. He came, he spoke to the class, and his campaign manager at that time was Gene Conti, who is now running my campaign. So very full circle moment there for me.
Clay, your video, when you released that earlier this month, it's just got an incredible number of hits. What is the response you've received from that and taking that approach to announce that you would be running?
You know, I'm understanding of the fact that I'm not a traditional candidate. And so we didn't want to make an announcement in the traditional sense either. I thought that it was important for me to talk about my roots here in North Carolina with my family, and the response that we've gotten has been positive. You know, I don't care to run a campaign that's a typical politician campaign that involves a bunch of smears and everything. We wanted to run a campaign that was positive, that talked about me and what's important to me. And so, yeah, we've had a lot of views, we've had a lot of hits, we've had a lot of support, not from around the country, but a lot within the district and a lot within the state as well, of people who are tired of hearing the same types of things over and over, and they found it refreshing and exciting that we're running a campaign that's not like that.
Clay, what's the issue you feel strongest about?
I think the issue that I feel, there are a lot of issues that I'm very interested in. I think the thing that is affecting people directly most is the lack of employment. The unemployment rate is still too high in this state. Veterans issues are very important to me. But in general, this pervasive sense of, in order to succeed in politics, you have to trash the other side. And I think that's the thing that frustrates me the most. And I think if we can stop that culture of the only way that I can succeed is if I make you look bad, if we can get rid of that, then I think we'll have a lot more success in solving some of the other problems when we can work together.
Clay, your opponent has voted more times than I can count to defund and repeal Obamacare. Do you fully support that law?
Do I fully support the law or repealing of it?
The Obamacare, the federal health care.
No, I don't think that it's completely perfect. I think there are a whole bunch of things that should be fixed and rough edges that should be smoothed out. I think that's a problem that Democrats in general have, is an inability to recognize the fact that a lot of people do have problems with that particular law. There are a lot of people who have a lot of problems with a lot of parts of it. That said, the number of things that are positive about the law, we don't talk about enough. You know, there are parts of it like doctors not being able to be paid to prescribe you a particular medication. Like hospitals now having to tell you what they're charging you for and how much they're charging you for. A lot of parts that we don't talk about enough that I think need to get more light on them. For that reason, I believe that the law, if we look at it as a whole, has some deficiencies. But those are deficiencies that can be addressed without throwing out some really, really important protections for people.
What parts would you like to fix?
I think you can take a look at certain things like the ratio of between the most coverage and the least coverage, and I think it's at 3 to 1 now. We could probably address that disparity so that we could make healthcare less expensive for certain people. I think that there are certainly ways that we need to continue to address the rising costs of coverage, and I don't think that rising healthcare costs, and I don't think that that this law goes far enough to address skyrocketing healthcare costs in general.
We're just gonna do one more question, everybody.
Recently, Renee Ellmers accused you of San Francisco politics and San Francisco values, so your response to her most recent
Can you
comment.
tell me what that means? Listen, I've grown, everybody up here knows I've been here my entire life. I've lived in North Carolina my entire life. My mom won't let me have anything but North Carolina values. And so I'm not exactly sure what that means. I'd love for her to explain exactly what she means by that. But I know myself, and I know that I'm from North Carolina proudly, and that's who I am, and that's what's inside me.